Okay, good afternoon, folks. Sorry about that. I was in a trade. I took that one there. Came back on me, started to go sideways, and when it got below there, I got out of it. I got on a bit lower than I should, to be fair. It was only on one of my accounts. I can't change. I can't trade my other ones when I took that one. It was obviously before the market's open. So, hope everyone is well. So that's one trade on the board. Anyway, let's point it at that one there. No, actually, because it wasn't a setup there. But so let's just reset my accounts. Everything is where it should be. Let me just check. And then I'll say hello.
Order submitted.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sorted.
Order cancelled.
Okay. Jan, how you doing, buddy? Daryl, how are you? Speedy, good morning. Devon, how you doing? Who else? Daryl. FZen, how you doing, buddy? Okay. So, that's the trade I took. I liked it, actually. We sort of had that push up. I'm guessing this gap is going to get filled from... Actually, that's what I wanted. There is a gap there where price kind of hasn't overlapped. So my guess is this is likely to get filled. So I took that. I thought it was okay. It came down first like just under my 3 points and started to backtrack. Then it continued to go sideways. And then when it came down again, I got out for a point and a half or a point and a quarter, I think. So you could say this is a triple test. I'm guessing that gap's going to get filled. I'm assuming from CPI that was. So there is a failure there, but it is going a bit sideways. So it's okay trading on one of your accounts. I don't mind taking a slightly riskier trade on one of your accounts. It is a failure there. There's going to be stops there. There'll certainly be stops there. Channel break, new low. There's going to be people buying that. But my gut feeling is that's going to break. So we'll see how we get on there anyway. Exponential, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Ben. Hey, Tony, how you doing? So we're up $125 on one of my accounts. Let's see how we get on. So that's a lower high. Second entry short here, breakout pullback. To keep an eye on this. Let's put that there, I think. It's kind of like a hidden second entry long there, which worked for a couple of points. We didn't quite get to the top before we're falling, so let's call that one test, two test. Let's see what happens here. So we got a little channel, one push up. Be nice to push up just again. But yeah, on my other chart, there's a big bullish bar there. So my guess is this is going to push below here. I noticed that Wilson is trading 25 PAs now. Other evals too. Seems to be, he's doing all right. Yeah, he's not posting anything lately. But yeah, I think he's got some evaluations with Bullanox and a few others. There's a second entry short there. Now, it is risky that because it's in the middle of this channel, but it is readable. But I am probably going to leave that. See what happens. See if we get a bearish bar here, which I would consider that maybe one push up, two pushes up, and a triple test. It may still work there. It is two legs up. Bearish bar. There's going to be stops there, triggered. Stops there. But I would prefer that up here, really. Leg and a leg. Push up, break out the top, come down bearish. That I would take. Fat. Let's just get an order ready just in case. That would be a second entry short, hopefully. Just want to see whether that one stays. So we got a leg up and a leg up. So we got a channel break new low, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Let's see how this plays out. Leg and a leg. I mean, it could be going back up, but we are ranging at the moment. That failed. We are ranging, so I would consider this possibly a failed breakout, or it could fail. Yeah, he stopped posting stuff, Wilson, hasn't he? He goes through phases of posting for a bit, and I haven't spoken to him for a while. I used to talk to him quite regular, but I spoke to him for a month and a half, I think. So leg. I prefer to push above them and then drop bearish. If we can hit that measured move but not trigger that one, I'd like to not stop that bar out. Having said that, it's very easy to get focused on this thing. Looks like it's going to come down to fill that gap. But and I've done that before, got constantly focused on going short, and all of a sudden thing goes up. So you've got to be so careful. I think it's important for me that it doesn't break above there. That makes it still valid, I think. Channel break, new low. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. See, if Penguin took that, he wouldn't take it until it pushed below that EMA. Trouble is, by the time we're down there, we haven't got much space left. Having said that, if it is a breakout, often we get one in the opposite direction. So I'm going to keep an eye on this on my other chart. See if we get a lower high here. That would be nice. Trap along, lower high. No, it's just going to come down, I think, isn't it? Come on, give us another chance. If we can get a bullish bar here, hopefully there'll be some traders taking that, thinking leg and a leg up. Trouble is, it does break above there. By the time it stops that bar out, we got no space, although my gut feeling is we're going to push below. We're going to have stops below here, definitely here, and quite likely below here as well. Just noticed that 91% he has posted a video now. Yeah, what it is, it's not really, well, it is 90% off, but it's 90% off those bigger ones. So the 150, 250 and 300,000 are all $50 each. So, hey, Speedy. So let's have a look. It hasn't broken above it, has it? Mate, amazing news from me. Just hit 52.7. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I have on one of my accounts as well. I took a couple of trades earlier. That one I took earlier. I got a new account. I took one earlier there as well. So yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you. Can't believe it. Well, it had to happen sometime. So enjoy it, mate. I would tell you, if it's your first, withdraw $500. For your first, you got to, in my opinion, because it's a really good feeling. Well, mate, you're sticking it long enough, sooner or later you'll start to get there, and you'll get there more and more. So good on you, mate. Good on you. Congratulations. If you're sticking it long enough, you'll start getting better and better, and sooner or later you'll get there. 3 years struggle. It takes time, mate. It takes time. It's not easy. Brant, take it to at least, or do that, yeah, whatever you want to do. What I wouldn't do, I mean, you can't now anyway, but I wouldn't take the 2,000 out, because you've got 500 or 600 left. You're screwed, in all honesty. But even if you take 500 out, you've still got $2,100 left. So, you know, you're still okay. But it had to happen at some point, mate. So good on you. I'll delete that. It's a shame, really. The failed breakout work, but I just preferred a lower high there. But look, my gut was going to take out that and this as well, and it's going to, I believe. There's a bigger bullish bar on the other chart, so this is going to smash through it now. Second now, let's have a look. How the payoff stuff work. Has it broken below there? Yeah, it does. So, it's, well, there's not so much of a gap on here, it's more of a gap on here. Stops there, definitely stops there, which is broken that. I prefer to fill the majority of that gap there, because that's gapped up, moved up quite a bit. So there is, obviously, market usually overlaps. Now it may come down. So this is a leg down, a little bit of sideways, and my gut is this is going to be a leg down, which would take us down to there, which would comfortably fill that. So I'm so pleased it didn't. Now, if it doesn't break out that one, my gut feeling, if it broke that, that would be a different story. But if it didn't break that, which it didn't, down was my preferred direction. We do this a lot. We had a break new low and then it goes sideways. It's struggling to get up clearly. It never got above there, and then eventually it pushed down. So a little bit of a pullback here for down some more, I'm hoping. You probably could take that lower, maybe. No, I probably wouldn't, actually. I think it's best to keep it somewhere around about there. Second entry short off this. I prefer that to get higher. It may work, but that's too far for that EMA for me. Regardless of the breakout pullback, it's not pulled back enough for me. Yes, I thought it would probably stop that out, but I still think it'll come back and retest this. So that's a double trap in my opinion. Long stopped out, shorts triggered stopped out, giving us two legs back up to here. Bitcoin up to 91,000. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. It was always going to have a bit of a pullback at 90, wasn't it? You know, those are our numbers. Wow, yeah, look at that. 91,470. That is unbelievable. So I haven't got any Bitcoin at the moment. I've got a bit of Solana, not much. I got some Doge. Doge has doubled in the last week. I've got some ADA. I've got a little bit of SHIB. I've got a little bit of SUI. I've got some Chainlink. Render, that's doing okay. And Ondo somewhere. And a bit of Gala. Where's Ondo now? Ondo, that's up. That's not done too bad. So over the last week, that's gone up 30%. And Gala, I've got some Gala. Over the last week, that's up 36%. I mean, 36% in a week. You can't make money like that doing anything else, really. Can't make 36% being a trader in a week. Granted, it doesn't happen all the time. So we've pushed down and now we're going sideways. So I'm thinking I prefer that little bit of a break there. So I'm thinking this is the start of our second leg. So I prefer to get up here and test this really. That may work, but I don't like it. So this is that other leg to cover this. It looks more clear on my other chart. But we had 2 legs up, so we got a channel break new low, 2 clear legs up, strong push below the EMA and then down. So we can get rid of that now. I will leave it there. So that will take us down to around about here somewhere. So touch, touch, not quite there, which is why I wouldn't take that. It's too far away from that EMA and it's sideways. And if I keep this neat, we're not quite at the edge, so I prefer that. So I'd like to see 2 legs up, maybe retest this and then down for a bit more. So I would take a guess and put that there and do this somewhere like that maybe. Leg down, couple of legs up, and then down here. So we'll see where that goes to. I'd like to retest. This will be a good idea. Leg up, and then down for the rest. I have chain link. It seems to be the only one not moving. It'll move. It is moving a bit. It'll move. They all have their times. I think it was the last bull run I got into CRO, or Crowcoin as it was called then. 1, 2, 3 possible triple test there. 1, 2, 3. That's very tempting. But I'm just going to sit tight. It's very tempting to take that. But there's something's just telling me not to. Yeah, it does. Bitcoin goes first, and then when Bitcoin sort of hits certain levels, people sell it and get out and get into altcoins, although altcoins are still moving nice. But I can't remember alt season last year. The only time I remember alt season is when I was in CRO, or Crowcoin it was called then. I bought it at, I think, about 15 cents, and it went up to just under $1. Now, the only downside is I'd locked it in for 6 months. And I got one of those Ruby Steel cards where everything you buy, you get 2%. So I was paying my mortgage on it. I was paying my rent on it. I was paying my council tax, my bills, and every bit of shopping. And I was making 40 or 50 pounds worth of extra CRO every single month. So it paid off well. The trouble is, by the time I got out of my 6-month lock-in, it dropped. So it's okay having these lock-ins, but if you don't know the right time to get in and out. Hey Lance, how did you become an affiliate with Apex with a US bank account? Exactly the same as you do if you get paid from Apex to getting paid plain, P-A-L-N-E, as in the aircraft. Sign up to a plain account, and Apex pay straight into my plain account, and then I would draw it into my Revolut account. The reason I use Revolut is I can get unlimited currency. I can change unlimited currency, current market price with no fees. So yeah, it's just like you're an international trader. If you go into the settings, the payment settings, and you click international customer, what Apex will do is they'll contact Plane, and Plane will send you an invite. You're welcome. Plane will send you an invite. Okay, there's the first leg. That's why I didn't take it. This to me looks like the second leg. There may be a bigger channel. I'm not so sure. But channel down, I'd like 2 attempts. I mean, that may work, but I'd like to wait for the second entry, really, although you can consider it as a triple test. Something was just telling me just to hold on. And 2 legs up. We can get another push up. I was right to listen to, when you listen to that voice, it's good to listen to it
Order
because it does
submitted.
work. So channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Let's see, I prefer that to push up just a little bit more. So let's call that one attempt, two attempt. This will be the third attempt. That's perfect. So I'll be looking for a bearish bar in a minute. Off this possible thing here. What's it look like on my other chart? It's better on my other chart. So I'll be taking it on my other chart. As soon as I get into it, I'll let you know. See if it works. Although it's broken above there. Tested the bottom. Leg and a leg. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but this is what I'm thinking. Something's telling me to hold on here. I think the sensible thing to do is wait for the lower high here. See if we get a lower high. Trouble is, it is confirming this, but the issues I have is we're not getting close to the bottom here, so that's concerning me, which is why I kind of stayed out. Well, there was no setup there. There was on my other chart, but it's quite a bit above that EMA. There's about a point and a half to that EMA, and there's no guarantees that this is going to come down. I very nearly dropped, well, in fact, I did drop it in there, but it didn't take it. And then I decided to put it away. Channel down, two pushes up. Well, it would have worked comfortably. But sometimes, if something doesn't feel right, I tend to listen to it now. Can't see anybody taking the trade. See, Thomas Wade's got a channel going up, which doesn't seem right to me. Yeah, Thomas Wade's got that. We haven't finished coming down, in my opinion. So I'm not sure about that channel, but what I am sure about is I like that. Channel, two pushes up, two pushes down to a new low. I'm looking for this measured leg. We haven't quite filled that overlap here from where we had that news. I'd like that to fill, which would take us down to there, which would comfortably get us closer to that measured leg. Channel down, two pushes up, strong push below that EMA. Penguin might have had an order there, which it hasn't taken. But he'd have got an order in about there, and he'd want to be out before the lows, which it is. So I'm guessing he'd have got in there somewhere. It hasn't hit that yet, so he may Still have the opportunity to get in. So I'll keep an eye on that. But I still think that'll come down to here, certainly around about here anyway, around about the 3s. But funny enough, that measured move is right on that 6,000 level. I was very tempted to take that. I should have done, really. Channel down, clearly 2 pushes up. My only issue is it was a bit too far. I'd have preferred it around here. I preferred it not to have gone up too far. Once we get below there, we'll get a bit of a drop there, I think. And we'll fill the gap on the other chart. So, from a penguin trade point of view, that would have worked. 2 legs up, in there, stop up there, out around about here. And there's that overlap there. And that takes us down to that 6,000 level, bang on there, which I'll be surprised if it doesn't hit. Someone else is in a trade here. No, it's too late now.
Order
anyway.
cancelled.
So there is a higher low there, so there's going to be some liquidity around here. Quite a bit, I'd have suggested. Higher low there. Well, that was with the news. After that push up, 2 measured moves. Down a pretty close, yeah. That's the measured move. That's that overlap, which I'd expect to be filled, which it has. Now we're a couple of points away from that measured move, so yeah, I should have taken it. But I don't know. If it was closer to that, yeah, if it's closer to the email, below the email, I'd take it. But I'd be looking for a lower high. That one I didn't like. The failure, didn't really like that. It's always nice to trap a bull bar. That's not bullish enough to entice buyers in my opinion. Drawing the 2 shorter legs. Oh, you're on about here and here? Yeah. Yeah, it's just that second leg built into 2, isn't it? Or broken into 2. Yeah, the same place, more or less. We're about a point away here. Beautiful. So that's that fill there. There was a small failure there, so they may have taken that. So leg and a leg. Yeah, that was broken into 2 as well. So that's what I thought was going to happen. And that would actually have been a nice trade. The only downside for me is that was, I don't know, it just got up a bit too far. I'd have preferred that and closed just below there. I would have taken that for sure, which is why I waited for the lower high, and we didn't really get anything worth having, to be honest with you. If that had been a strong bullish bar, then I may have had a go at that. Let's have a look at this one. Does this look any different? No, not really. So everything's played out. We've broken the lows of the day. So leg down, leg and a leg up, leg and a leg down. So possible small overshoot there, maybe. Overshoot with a bigger channel if the bigger channel is there. Yeah, channel down, That looked nice, but the bar just wasn't good enough. It was better on the other one, but does Replicanto allow you to take different contract sizes? Yeah, it certainly does, bud. If I've got this here, if I go into here, pre-allocated, so I can say 3 contracts for that one. If you put it out there, yeah, I'll show you, pre-allocated. So that gives me so I can do 2 contracts for that one, 1 for that, 1 for that, 2 for that, however you want. So pre-allocation does that one. But you've got exact quantity, ratio, so you can do like percentages. And I don't know what these other things, I've never used them, but I just most of the time use exact quantity. But yeah, you can. You're welcome, mate. That's kind of why I like it. So if you're trading an evaluation as well and you want to up the contracts a little bit, you can do
Order
that. So
submitted.
you can trade your normal 1 or 2 contract sizes.
Order
for
canceled.
your PAs and then a little bit extra. So I've got to say I love Replicanto. It's just nice to have something that works flawlessly. There's nothing worse when your software starts to break down. NinjaTrade has always been good. Slight couple of hiccups once in a while, but not many. But obviously Rhythmic was the big ball ache, but that seems to have sorted itself out now. So trading is a lot less stressful. That's for certain. It'd be interesting to see where Bitcoin goes. I've seen people like who's the hedge fund woman, Kathy Wood. People like her saying she thinks it may hit 120,000 by the end of the year. Some say it could be 160. Some say it could be 200,000 next year. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. I mean, I didn't really. I had a little bit in Bitcoin. I had £1,500 of Bitcoin, £1,500 of Ethereum. I think a couple of years ago, but I didn't have it for long. I got rid of it, and I did hear people say to me, avoid things like Bitcoin. Go for some of the alts, but more the well-known alts like Solana, Ethereum, XRP, stuff like that. Solana, Ethereum. XRP, ADA, stuff like that. The more well-known ones, the one that are a little bit more established. But when you think about where Bitcoin went down to $15,000 and it's up to 90 now, that's gone up over 6x, 600%. And you'd like to think that Bitcoin would be safer than any other coin, really. I mean, it's kind of got mass adoption now, isn't it? To the big players. 2 nice long there, high or low, that one there. Yeah, after the overshoot, you'd expect that to push up. Certainly for the up to the EMA. I don't know, I tend to not trade stuff like that. Although I think it was okay. Yeah, someone else took it. To be fair, I didn't even notice it. When we've had an overshoot, I just avoid trading. But yeah, I think you're not the only one there, mate. He took that. Someone else took it as well. So you're not the only one. Took the higher low, but got stopped there at break even. That's the thing about putting it to break even, isn't it? It is frustrating how it seems to come back, take you out for break even to the nearest tick, and then rockets. It's frustrating. I think the only answer really is just to leave your stop there until you take your profit, or at least wait till it gets up here or something. But I know people have different ways of trading and setting stops, and Wilson was kind of doing what I started doing, having my order down here or having my target down here and just trying to squeeze that stop down as it goes lower. But I stopped trading that way. I don't really know why. But I think that's a way to trade when your accounts are higher and you've got a little bit of flexibility. But you can potentially get some good returns that way. So, leg and a leg. So I'd say there's a good chance we're in a range here. So look at that. Overshoot, lower high. Would that interest you? Channel, overshoot, lower high. No, it doesn't interest me. But some it may do. like Wilson style of trading, sometimes you get some very good. Yeah, that's how I kind of started. Not having a set profit, just letting market move and following it down with your stop. I mean, I was only trading 2 contracts when I first, and granted, a lot of my trades, there was an element of luck there, but I think I had $1,200 or $900, $1,100. I had quite a few $1,000 days just from one, trading one account, because I was, squeezing it down, following it down, me stop, and sometimes you get a bit lucky if it tends to go in that way. But yeah, he's making the most out of that. He's keeping his risk low. He's only trading a contract, so he's keeping his risk low. But he's having some success with it. He trades a little bit. He drifted outside Pat's a little bit, but it is working for him. So if something works for you, you've got to stick at it, I think, haven't you? So, possible second entry long here. I'm staying out of this just at the moment. But I wouldn't say that this is definitely a range yet. But I think there's a strong possibility. We've bounced there and bounced there. So, we'll see. I'm not in a hurry to take a long here just yet. I'd rather get out of this first, because in fact, let's take that out. If I take that away, there would be no reason to not go long here, apart from that overshoot. But yeah, that overshoot, I always avoid that next. If it's an overshoot of an uptrend, I always avoid that next long or second entry. Maybe ILO will be okay, but as for a setup, if that was bullish above there, I don't think that's a terrible place to take a trade. But with that overshoot, and we are still working down, it may mess you around. So overshoot, channel down. So we could have a couple of legs and then push up, or God knows. Yeah, so that second entry there, from there, is triggered, and it's starting to come down. Whether it will or not, who knows? But after that overshoot, you're always best to avoid that next long if we're in an uptrend. Let's see what happens here. There's a failure there. Well, looking like a failure. Trouble is, it's a bit congested and there's no space to the lows anyway, so. I mean, that bullish bar has triggered. The trouble is, how far is it going to go down? I would prefer that a little bit more out of this down channel before I consider taking that. I'm guessing if this goes down, the bigger trend is at play since the bigger channel. Yeah, it depends what it does from here. I'm not massively convinced that is a channel. I'm a bit half-hearted about that because a couple of people have taken it away. He's taken it away. And he's taken it away. So if you take it away, things look different, you know what I mean? It's a leg down, sideways, and another leg down. We've bounced here, so if it comes up to here, straight away then it's ranging, isn't it? So I'm not necessarily convinced this is a channeled. I'm a bit on the fence. I took it away just to see what it looked like. Now, there's a second entry short here, so this could come down or it could go up. There's going to be longs taking that, and granted it might go up, but it may not. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. It's not super clear. But that is an overshoot, so you have to pay attention to that. You could even say there's a little bit of a range there. So second entry short, push down, flush out everything. Trouble is with that one, it's just kind of floating there, isn't it? It's not a big risk though. There's one on the other one, but it's like 15 ticks. But I think it'll probably work. I'm guessing that's going to go. But I got mixed feelings here. So my gut feeling is that's going to get stopped out just by the way we've had this and it's pushed down. But I could be wrong. This overshoot, we could just get a couple of something like this and up some more. But my gut feeling is I wouldn't want to be in that trade there. So yeah, touch. My gut is that bar will get stopped out, which means this will come down enough to stop it out. So that may not have been a bad trade. Trouble is, I got a bit mixed feelings here. Overshoot, we could get a bigger correction, and a leg would be plenty down enough from there. Take out that one. I bet there'll be some longs in there. Let's reevaluate this channel. Yeah, you just got to sit this out. I think this is kind of mixed feelings a bit. I've upgraded journaling software, some bugs. I was going to ask you a question about that. What did you use to design that? What software did you use to program that or design it? I was looking at it and thinking, how the hell did you come up with something like this? It's clever. I did a little tiny bit of programming years ago at college one evening, but we're talking C+. We're talking 20 years ago. Things were a bit different then, but what did you use to design that? I am using Cardero Studio with SQ. Is it something you need experience with, or is it like a piece of software like, I don't know, Photoshop that you can pick up and learn? And are there videos on how to do it? Because it'd be lovely to come up with something, something kind of unique to do a certain job. I'll take a quick photo of that. Obviously a lot of this software, there are videos out there on YouTube and people showing you how to use them and how to program it. And see, I did it with my wife years ago at college. We did a web design course. Now, back then it was a lot more complicated, but there are companies now, that provide software with templates galore that you can, set them up pretty easy now, and a beginner can pretty much program language Pascal. I have heard of that. And there is an IDE to design the graphic. Is it something you can pick up, or is it something you need to be taught? That is interesting. I have been playing around with Excel. I've used Excel in the past, but not for years. I've been playing around with Excel to do certain things. So that did break below there. So that trade did work. I think for 3 points. So let's say you got on a tick below. Yes, comfortably. Leg and a leg. Trouble is, we could have, with this overshoot, we can have a bigger correction. So this could be a leg and a leg and a leg, and it may push up. Breakout pullback to continue down, maybe.
Order submitted.
Mind you, it's gone quite far, that, for me. If we didn't have that overshoot, that may interest me. A leg and a leg. It could push up. We got a leg and a leg, so yeah, I need to sit on this one, I think.
Order cancelled.
You know, I see people with, you know, things like TradeZella and TraderSync and all that, and I'm thinking, how the hell do you design something like that? And things like Guardian Angel as well. Super bit of software, that is. It can really save your neck. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. So leg up, two legs down, leg up.
Order submitted.
There is a bar there, but the trouble is, it's massive.
Order cancelled.
I like the way it is working off this, and it is a channel down with two legs up. Trouble is, there's no setup there. It's just at the bull bar, we've crossed over and come down. Yeah. It's a bit risky, this. Although it is looking like we're picking along the top of this line, but I'm not convinced of this channel just at the moment. I think it's just as much ranging, and that looks to me like a bull flag. Push up, a little bit of down, and then up. So I think a short here at the moment is risky. So I'm staying out of it. Some have got that channel, some have got rid of it. So trading here is risky. I very nearly took that bar there, but it stemmed back, and it's just congested. Trouble is, we are continuing down. There is a lower high there, but when it's like this, you never quite know what it's going to do. It does make trades a little bit more risky, and taking a trade around about here, right in the middle of it, could be kind of suicidal. Channel down, leg up, leg up. So if you did take that, trigger just stopped you out. But yeah, that kind of like looks very bull flaggy, doesn't it? Which is a bullish pattern, so that could go up so much. And if it does, which it looked like it's going to, then I think that channel is less important now. We're going to have some stops there. You can probably guess there. We've broken above there now. Mind you, channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. It is a second entry short. We are trapping a bull bar. You could call that a triple test. Second entry short. But I'm just not sure. It does look like two attempts to go up. but it is still sideways here. I think it's readable. I can read it. Channel down, 2 legs up, 2 legs down, 2 legs up, bearish bar, triple test and down. But I'm just sitting tight here. Traps galore. So look, if you'd have taken that one, it's triggered you. Look, it's on its way up. So although it looks like channel down, 2 attempts to push up, bearish bar, we've got to go down now. We haven't. So we may get another leg up here. People getting trapped all over the place. Yeah, the good thing is it's nice when you start to notice things and you think, something doesn't look right here. You're getting a short there, triggers, you stop shout. It's a nice feeling when you start to notice these. I mean, look how nice it looked. Channel down, 2 legs up. It was clearly a second entry short. And it's very easy. You're thinking, okay, so we've got a leg down. We've got 1, 2 legs up, 1, 2 legs down, 1, 2 legs up. You could call it a triple test, or at least 2 attempts to go higher, second entry short. Why won't that work? But when it does go sideways like this, especially after an overshoot, you have got to ask the question is, do I really know what's going on here? I like to think I do, but if I'm honest with myself, this is where you spend, I think, a lot of the time where I've lost trades is I've got into trades like this, which aren't as clear, you know, rather than waiting for stuff like this or, you know, stuff that's clear. But when it starts stacking up, and it looks even worse on the other chart. I mean, it does look messy there. You know, you can see the legs. You can still see a leg up and a leg up, leg down, leg up, leg up. But look at all this. You've now got a bullish bar that's triggered and that's coming down. Is it going to, you know, when it's sideways like this, it tends to go up. You buy, it comes down. You sell, it goes up. You buy, it comes down. It tends to work like that. And inexperienced traders thinking the market's going up, let's buy. And it comes down, it stops them out. So the market's come down, stopped them out, so they think, let's sell. And then it does the complete opposite. And that's how, when it's like this, it just takes traders out, inexperienced traders out. So I've heard Max say 1,000,000 times, you got to stay out of it. In fact, I was surprised at little trades he marked yesterday. He marked that second entry short. I did, but he left the other one, which really surprised me. Which was the one he left? I can't remember now. So that one he marked, it looked a bit better. The second entry short he marked. There was another one at the end of the day. I can't remember what it was now. It was 2 little legs up. It was, oh, that was it there. I thought it was an absolute beauty. Leg down. It worked beautifully. Marco marked it. He took it. I said to him, I'm surprised Mac didn't even mention it. I thought that was a little beauty. We've got a little channel down, 2 clear legs up, beautiful legs up. I love that trade. And Mac never mentioned it, which is odd. But there we go. Okay, so yeah, that's why getting into a trade short there. It's risky. I got lucky 5 trades today before the trappy stuff. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Good on you. You do all right, actually. You do really well. I think as for stress and panic, see, you fly aircraft or used to fly aircraft, and you've got to be pretty calm and level-headed to do that. So that would be an attribute which would help you massively as a trader. It's certainly a lot more stressful having a, I don't know, let's have a guess, 750-ton aircraft. No, it's going to be more than that at your fingertips rather than having a mouse. 750 ton, it probably holds that much in fuel, don't they? cup and handle, that there. Yeah, I'm aware of them, but for me, it was more of a bull flag. We push up and we get this sort of thing like that, and woof, up it goes. But generally, as a price action trader, we don't generally use patterns, but I think it's good to be aware of them, especially if you get a really nice head and shoulders pattern, which we kind of had there, didn't we? Shoulder, head, shoulder, which is a bearish pattern. And after going up, you'd be thinking, do I really want to be going short here? But look how it worked. It's a push-up, stronger push-up, not so strong push-up and down. So it's good to be aware of them. So I'm going to get rid of that now. I think there's more traders without that. And the more I look at it, the more I kind of think, yeah, the trouble is, seeing something like that that's played out, we've bounced off the bottom, you'd probably be looking for a long here. But if you've got it as a downtrend, you won't be. So I mainly use context. Key levels, not always use a signal bar as it should. Yeah, I think when you've been trading a while, you get your own feel for it. Matt told me in an email once, it's naturally as a trader to find your own rhythm, your own way of doing things. It's like anything you learn a certain way, whether it's a university or college, and then when you get out in the big bad world, you kind of find your own way of doing things, don't you? I'm pretty sure if you pick one carpenter to the next one, they're probably quite different. So, see, prices just posted that 10,000 tick chart. A leg and a leg. I wonder if that is going to come down. Could do. Perhaps that channel is valid and it's going to push down and make a new low. Let's just fit it again, see how it could work. So if you put it there or somewhere there, because I know a lot of times when we have an overshoot, Thomas Wade is still looking for a new extreme. But based on how it's bounced there, if it is rangy, it may just continue up to here. So I'm still going to get rid of it just for now, but we'll just keep an eye on it. You done, are you? Yeah, you take it easy, bud. Have a nice day. Nice to get in and get out. Looks like a bigger channel forming here. I've tried it, but we're not getting nowhere near the top. So I'm just not sure at the moment. Having said that, it's definitely working along there, and I'd say that midline is. So yeah, maybe. Sometimes things don't look right, but half an hour later they look beautiful. It's weird, isn't it, how things change? You have a spike in a channel. Yeah, I did look at that earlier. Sometimes if you connect the tops and it gives you something like that, which funnily enough is a possible spike and channel. Yeah, so I see both sides of it. That one, I like the fact that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really nice touches, and it seems to be working up that line. So what I'll do is we'll leave them both in. Because what you don't want to be doing is taking a long here if you've got this channel. In all fairness, I don't like the fact that we're nowhere near the top. That's why I kind of am not a fan of it. I think it's good to pay attention. Sorry. I mean, you could even do something like this, couldn't you? And then maybe start from here. Just put 2 legs down and a bounce. So that I think would be probably better. But then maybe there's a possibility of something like that. In fact, I prefer that better. And it fits in this as well. Oh, that's how you have it. Yeah. But look, we had that little push up, didn't we? We had a small pull back. Forget that, really. We've had... Sorry, I'm waffling a bit here. That one I like. We have an overshoot there, 2 pull back, 2 legs back, and it's working there. And obviously this one, there's a possibility as well. So just for now, I'm going to kill that colour so it doesn't get in the way. So channel up, leg back, leg back. You've got to be careful here anyway, because it's only really a first entry if it works. But if it comes down to here, would confirm this channel. And look at that. That's it off the top of the mini range before we made a new high. See what happens here. See, in all fairness, we've had 2 legs up. If this is a bigger channel, this could come down and find a new low. I'm just got to be aware of that it could come down here. It is a leg and a leg, although we haven't made nowhere near a measured leg. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that and that for now, I think. Yeah, so I think you've got to be aware of that. You know, after an overshoot, we can get a bigger correction, can't we? And that looks like a correction and then strong push down. So I would say if we can get 2 legs up here, I don't think that would be a bad place to go short. I'll have to see how it looks. For me, it's not so much that it's a second entry short, it's how it looks. Like that little trade I took yesterday. I thought it... No, I did say I won't take a trade this low down, but the trade looks so good, I couldn't help myself, and it worked beautifully. Sometimes these 2 little legs back just sort of work in harmony. They just look lovely. And when they look like that, you just can't turn them down, I don't think. Same with this one here, really. We've got channel break, new low, 1 leg up, 2nd leg up, and then down. So I'll be amazed if Penguin hasn't taken that one. And maybe this one even. In fact, let me check my emails. He usually emails me. Yeah. No, nothing updated. Yeah, you see that, don't you? Think, there we go, we're coming down all of a sudden. Look at that. And more or less where we started. Yeah, it's a bit unclear now, isn't it? I keep getting rid of that and put it back. I think it looks better without it, to be fair. It looks more just like a leg. 2 legs back. The leg down. It went a little bit lower, I think, because of this bottom. It's definitely kind of working around this midline, isn't it? In all fairness, I wouldn't have a clue whether to go long or short here at the moment. It's really not clear, is it? 1 minute we have 2 legs down, then we have 2 legs up. Mac has a similar chart to mine. Yeah, it's a bit hard to read at the moment. I mean, it kind of looks just like a range, I think. If we manage to get up to here, we have 2 legs down, we come up, we go down, we come up. So it's more likely, I think it ranges most of the time, doesn't it? With the exception of channels within here. But, I mean, although we have got channels here, it's not a huge move and there's not really a lot you can trade here, really. Yeah, it is looking more range, isn't it? I'm just wondering whether we're going to bounce here again. There's a bit of support there, I'd say, so I'd be interested to see what happens. I'm going to make a cup of tea in a second anyway. I was going to tell you guys something. I can't remember what it was. I can't think. So let's have we look at this. So little channel up there and a break. 1, 2 pushes to a new high. Let's see what it does here. Michael Mark 15. Hey, well, in fact, I'm surprised how little he only marked about, was it 3 yesterday? I think it was about 3, which is quite surprising for Mac. I actually thought yesterday was quite good. I saw a couple of beauties. Now, if I see 2 beautiful trades, I'd expect Mac to see 30 or 40, but I actually thought yesterday was a really good day. Only 3. Yeah, it was. Wasn't many at all. Let's have a look. Very little for Mac. In fact, Mac's off on holiday, I think. It's near the end of this week, I think. Yeah, maybe a bit more. Let me have a look.
Oh, so that's
Yeah, it wasn't many. It was a bit more than 3, I think. Let me have a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually, but not much. So that one I took. That was the other one I took as well, which I got stung on. So I took that one, and that one he didn't mark either. I thought that was beautiful. Little channel down, 2 legs up, bearish bar. But yeah, that's not much, is it? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high probability trades and a slight risky one. But that's not much for Matt. He usually has them dotted everywhere, but that's pretty low for him. That's how do you approach eval accounts? Do you increase your risk when trying to pass the challenge? It depends, that mate. It depends. If you're new-ish and you're testing them out, you're trying them, you try to get experience. My advice would to be just do one contract. The trouble is when you get onto an evaluation, it's the kind of stepping stone to a live account. But if you're newish, you're still inexperienced, I wouldn't even consider going for more contracts to get to a PA. You probably will. You naturally do. Not many people listen to the right advice. I certainly didn't. You've got that natural urge to do it. So, but if my honest opinion is if you're quite new and you've never risked any money or anything like that before, just do one contract. All you're doing is exposing yourself to what it feels like to have risk, which then brings out emotions. And I heard someone describe it as an emotional dial, which I think's perfect. So you imagine a little dial on your cooker goes from number 1 to 10. When you first start to have a go at money, it's dialed up to 10. You get impulsive, you panic, you don't think clearly. When you take a loss, you jump straight in with another one, and it all goes to rat shit, in all honesty. So don't think about money. Don't think about getting to a PA account to get money. Just think about having that experience of what it feels like to have some skin in the game. So that's my advice. Don't think about money. And I know you might think, oh, I want to get on with it. I want to make money. And it will happen. But earlier on, all you're going to do is throw away more money and never, ever, ever, when you're new, get more than one evaluation. I know you kind of want to. I only have traded live, but find it really hard on these eval accounts. I've been at one for 3 months now. Different psychology. Well, if you've lasted 3 months on an evaluation count, you've got some qualities there, mate. So most people don't last 3 hours. I certainly don't. So if you've managed to hold, 3 months is absolutely amazing. You've got some discipline there. So that is something that's quite hard to get. You have to work at. I've had to work my ass off for discipline. I can't tell you how many times I've sat here talking about how good and disciplined I feel because I've been sat here 3 hours and I've taken a stupid trade in the last 3 minutes. So that's some good qualities, that is. So I would stick to what you're doing. And all you're really looking for is to have a pattern of consistency. And then you can start to up things a little bit. But yeah, give yourself a pat on the back for that. That's good going, that is. But yeah, the trouble is we all try and run before we can walk. Now, I'd say I'm probably worse than most. Don't ask me why. I'm just a bit stubborn, and I kind of always rush things, whatever I do, really. I'm probably known for rushing things, so I've had to work extra hard at it and spend extra money or lose extra money, which you want to look at it. How long have you been trading for, mate, from a complete beginner? Tell me that. So, possible second entry long. I'm not trading it at the moment because I don't know whether this is starting to be the top of a range or whether we're going to come down. This, to me, doesn't look like a channel up. It looks a bit messy, so I don't know whether I'm going for long or short here at the moment. So, I certainly don't want to go long, but I'm not ready to go short yet either. So trouble is, channel break, new high. We could have 2 legs down and a push up. I don't think there's any larger channel there, although there may be, but it's not jumping out at me. But it is a channel break, new high, and possibly 2 legs back, so it could continue up. We are finding a little bit of support along there. So I'm guessing this is vulnerable, that lower high. Do you know, I remember after when I started trading, I said to my wife, within 1 year, I'll be earning $10,000 a month. And then when I started my second year, I said to my wife, by the end of the year, we'll be earning $10,000 a month. You get the picture. So it looks easy, and you see people doing it, and it looks very easy, but it's not. But it's not impossible. And it doesn't take any longer to do than any other job. You know, if you want to be a bricklayer, you can't be a bricklayer overnight. It takes 3 to 5 years, at least, to get reasonably good at it. And all you're really doing is laying one brick on top of another, you know, for want of a better word. If you're going to be a doctor, what is that? 7 years of medical, 5 years of medical, still 2 years in a hospital or something like that. It takes years. But it doesn't have a massive failure rate. The only thing that makes trading so hard is the amount of money you lose, because you don't get paid for it. Is that true that take profit trader pays on demand, even daily? I believe so. The trouble is, I read that you have to have a certain amount in the bank. You have to hit a certain target, but how can you make money on a live account within 1 day? It doesn't quite make sense to me. If there's a consistency rule, how are you going to make enough in there to make it 1 day? So I don't quite understand. I might have to look into that. This is still, I think, slightly bullish, I think, at the moment. Now, whether that will change, I don't know. Let me have a look at this. See if I can maneuver this around to do something. We had that earlier, didn't we? I'm still not a massive fan of that. I don't know what's going on, really, in all honesty. We've definitely got some support here, and we've kind of had a channel with a break. 1, 2 pushes up to new on a big bearish bar, but I'm just not sure what's going on here. In fact, this is a good time where it's making its mind up to go and make a quick cup of tea. So I'm just going to pop that on. 5-minute break. On the website, it's written that there is no consistency rule after passing an evaluation. I'm not sure, mate. You'd have to look into that. I don't think I've done a evaluation with, say, take profit trader. Take profit trader. Or have I? No, I don't think I have. You'll have to look into that, mate. I'm not sure. It seems strange that you can go onto a PA account, earn $500 and withdraw it straight away. Because anyone can kind of be lucky on a trade, so I'm not too sure. I'd look into it, mate, if I was you. Okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay, so although it is going sideways and messing around, it is still going up, isn't it? There is a second entry long, but I'm staying out of this. Although there is liquidity there for a scalp, it may not be terrible, but that's it's too far from that EMA for me. Trouble is, it's so far. If that bar was sat on top of here, you could trade that. I'm not saying it won't work, but there's just no room to the tops. That could come down and sting you. So there's a 1.25 there because you've got to push through. There could be a failure there. That's weak, I think. I'd expect that to get stopped out if I took it now. It may work, but this isn't strong to me. It's going up, pulling back, going up, pulling back. So that to me is a bit risky. It may work, but it's irrelevant really. There's just not enough space at the top. Not only that, we know there's support along here as well, so it's a no from me. There's not enough space even if it was right. I prefer that bar sat on top of there. And I would prefer as well when it comes something like that. So that now all of a sudden doesn't look so appealing. Now it still may turn, but my gut feeling is that's weak. It's too far. It's gone too far. So look at that. There's a failure on my other chart there. Longs trap there, longs trap there, maybe down here. That doesn't look like a bad trade, so it may flush down, but that will probably stay safe if it does come down, that is. That's a nice 2 legs back, that is, but there goes the failure. That's, for me, is going to get stopped out. So try go once, try go twice, failure, and down. But it may still work, but my gut feeling is that's weak, and it's likely to get stung. Let's see if we've got a channel here. So 2 more ticks and that's gone. Yeah. It's just got risk written all over that. There's the 2 legs back. Now that's a better place to trade if you wanted to go long, but there is support here. So I'm just not ready to go long yet. Unless something just looked amazing. Okay, so let's just put that to the bottom of the wick of that red bar and bring this down to there. Doesn't fit too bad, so it may be a channel. And the only reason I put it there is someone else has put one as a spiking channel, and it kind of is not terrible. It's not the best looking, cleanest trade, but if you squeeze it together a bit, it is working up. And we had very similar with that one down, didn't we? It wasn't the cleanest. It wasn't the cleanest of, was it? It was kind of down, side was down, which is more or less the same. It's a bit messy, but I think it's probably as good as we've got. So, leg and a leg, bullish bar. Not for me. Because if this is the bottom of the channel and we've got to the top there, top there, top there, we're feathering off here, which means we could get a decent pullback to here. So just sitting tight here. We've got a leg back. We could get another leg back, take out that bar there and come down to here somewhere, or even maybe a break. Nothing worse when you get into a trade and see that. In fact, I wonder whether I can put that there. Maybe. Touch, 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 touch. So there is a bit of support there. But we've got this gap down here, this bit of vacant space. May get filled. Anybody watching the Tyson fight? Jake Paul fight on Friday? Anybody have any thoughts who's going to win? You naturally think Mike Tyson, but I was listening to a boxer yesterday, said that's all good and well, but Jake Paul's half his age, and if he runs around that rings and stays out of its way, Mike Tyson's soon going to tire. He has got bags of energy, so if he can stay out of the way of that hook, it may go the other way. I was thinking about having £10 on, just for the fun of it. I generally don't bet really, but on a boxing match, I have been known to. I had a bet on that Ruiz fight a couple of years ago and only put a tenner on it and won £500 odd. Mike wins, but I think set to go the distance. It's hard to say. I mean, Mike Tyson in his prime was absolutely deadly, wasn't he? A huge, I bet they are. Mind you, Jake Paul beat Nate Diaz, didn't he? And Nate Diaz is a very dangerous guy. In fact, the more you beat that guy up, the more dangerous he becomes. So it'd be interesting to see. It'd be good fun to watch, I think. Thing is, I think it's in the US, isn't it? Which usually means it's about 4:00 in the morning in the UK. I don't know how many times over the years I've paid for pay-per-view and fallen asleep before they start. I'm still old enough to remember the Tyson-Bruno fights in the 80s, I am. All right, I was a young teenager, but Mike Tyson, when he was young, was an absolute animal, wasn't he? Yeah, it'd be like having pillars wrapped around your cushions wrapped around your fists, wouldn't it? The UK fell asleep before the Tyson Lewis fight. Yeah. That's the thing. If it's in the US, they're usually about 10 o'clock at night, aren't they? I don't know why they fight so late. 10 o'clock at night, which could mean 3, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in the UK. And it's with all good intentions. You stay up, don't you? You have a bit of a party, you get a couple of friends round. And before you know it, you're fast asleep or you end up in bed. They don't have as many good fights as they used to. Going back in the 80s and 90s, especially the 80s, you know, they had the Bruno fights, the Tyson fights. You know, they had some big fights back then. even up as far as people like Klitschko and that, but they don't have a great deal nowadays, not as many as they used to. It's kind of more gone MMA now. That seems to have, well, it's certainly bigger in the US. I think it's getting quite big here in the UK as well, but MMA seems to be getting I think it's one of the quickest growing sports, isn't it? When I first watched it, I thought it was brutal. It made me a bit sick, elbows and that, but the more you watch it, the more you kind of enjoy it. It's kind of sick as it sounds. So this is clearly going up. So 2 legs back. That worked. You may even say it's a triple test. The only bit that made me nervous is we're not quite getting to the top. There is some open space down here, so you never know whether it's going to trigger you and have a leg and a leg. So really, I think for me personally, the option is the higher low. But if you do get a higher low, you're almost at the tops. We didn't anyway, so... So we have be interesting to see how it reacts to this. So yeah, it's definitely looking more of a range, really. Obviously, the overall's a range in my opinion, but we got a spike up, and often when we get a spike up, we get one out the other end. So don't be surprised when we got here, we just push out the top. We often get that in a spiking channel. We push in with a spike and we end with a spike. Do you know where I can see my daily trades, Apex, as in winners and losers? To be honest with you, mate, I'm not really that sure. You can you can see what you've done for the day, but I'm not sure about going back days. There's probably a way. Obviously you can see your balances, with rhythmic and stuff. I don't really know, to be honest with you. Maybe I should be able to do it with rhythmic. I've always sort of made notes or noted it down or something like that. I always kind of had access to it. So, but I'm not sure. Someone might tell you. There's probably a way, I would have thought. I want to check per account if I've broken any of the rules throughout my trading days. Yeah, I just, if anything, just make a note of what accounts you did, what trade. I mean, if you trade copying, it's relatively easy, but I believe if you have broken rules, they just make you trade another 8 days. So if you have, I won't worry about it. I know for a fact I've broken a rule on one of my accounts because I moved my stop quite a bit too far out the way, and it went to about $900, and then I moved it back. So I don't know whether they'll judge that as a risk or not. I don't know. A lot of these rules are still quite new, so I'm not 100% up. But if I broke any rules when I come to these first payments, I'm not too bothered. I'll just trade a bit longer. It'll give the accounts to grow. I've always taken money out. I've had about, what did I have? I had about 10,000 last year. What have I had? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've had about 12, 13,000 this year, which is not a lot, I know. And I've always took mine out early, and the accounts have ended up blown. So when now they make you keep that money in there. I think it's a good idea personally, because ultimately we want to grow our accounts to, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10,000, whatever you want. So then you can take consistent money out every month. And that's the ideal thing, really. So the first 1 or 2, I think, yeah, take your money and enjoy it. Have a look at my channel in Thomas Wade's Discord. Let's have a look. Is it under B, is it? Is that you under B? B, I'm assuming it's B for Ben, isn't it? Yeah. I'm guessing that's you. So you got yours right down there. I'm guessing it's you. Same name on here. It just comes up as B. I'm assuming that's you. You don't mind me showing it, do you, mate? Is it wearing like a black suit with your arms out wide? Streamer mode is enabled. Is that you there, is it? Bitcoin at 100 grand. Oh, I think he's asking it. I think there is streamer mode on. Yes, that's you, is it? I got you. Yeah, I thought it might be. So you've got yours like that, haven't you? Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. The only thing that makes me nervous about these is this. Now, if we come down here, that's not too bad, but when every time we come down, it's kind of going like this. I ask myself the question, okay, if it's fitting along a line there, maybe I can adjust this. But even if I adjust that to where I had it, which was here, it's hard to say there, mate. I got mixed feelings about that. Yeah, there's room at the top, but there's room at the bottom. So if this came down and bounced off here, I'd say this one's more valid, you know what I mean? So I think it's the same situation. I'll leave it there because I don't think it's terrible. I mean, what it is doing is catching the bottoms, but it was very similar here. It didn't fit brilliantly, did it? It's going up, but it's you know, it's a lot of zigzagging. It's a lot of it's quite jagged. We've hit this level now, so yeah, I don't think that's terrible. So Marco's saying Bitcoin, he's got a question mark with it. 100,000. Let's have a look. I'll have to push up another 10%, that would. 10, 11%. Where is it now? 93,000. Oh my Christ. Oh my God. Bitcoin's gone up 42% in 30 days. That is unbelievable. $93,000 Bitcoin. I never thought we'd see that so quick. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. And not when people see that, people are going to just start, I know, people are going to start coming in. Yeah, that's unbelievable, isn't it? Unreal. I mean, 30 days, we were down to about $61,000. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I thought that would push up that quick. I can't remember the last one. I wasn't paying too much attention to it. Last bull run. That's unbelievable, that is. Doge 41 cents. Solana 216. 216, that is. What else has gone up? Sui again. I really like that Sui. Pepe. Don't bother with those. It's Pepe reminds me of Shiba Inu during the last one, but Pepe's up 51% today. Sierra up 6%. Yeah, things gone bonk, 31%. Trouble is, with those ones, you can do really well or do really badly out of them. Where's Render? Ondo up 9%. I've got some of that. Render, where's that? Render. Wow, Ondo was lower than Render. It's the other way around now. Where's Render gone? Oh, 29. Okay, yeah, Render's picked up a little bit. Nick, do you know who the... Do you know the what? The biggest hole... you might have to rewrite that, Nick. I can't read that, mate. Do you know who the biggest holder of Bitcoin is? The biggest holder. I know Michael Saylor's got a lot of it, isn't he? I'm not sure, mate. Are you thinking the same thing, Michael Saylor? Or is it someone like, I bet Elon Musk's got some, hasn't he? You'd think so. I know Michael Saylor's got quite a lot, hasn't he? The US... Oh, yes. I know the US government, yeah. I didn't realise they had as much as that, though. Because I know Trump was on about selling part of Bitcoin and paying the national debt. Obviously, the national debt's bigger than the whole cryptocurrency market put together. So, but yeah, of course, yeah. So what does that tell you if US governments, mind you, have they confiscated? I bet they've confiscated a lot of it, haven't they? I bet. The creator, no. In fact, no one knows who the creator is, really, do they? Does anybody actually know who the real creator is? There's rumours, or is it? I can't think now. It's like Satoshi. No, I don't know. US government, yeah, of course. Yeah, I was aware they had some. I didn't realise how much. So I wonder how much Bitcoin crypto will take over in the future. I mean, money at some point, cash as in, paper money, will eventually go at some point. It's expensive, isn't it? I'm assuming Satoshi Nakamoto was the creator, but it's anonymous. No, yeah, no one really knows. But yeah, of course, yeah, US government, yeah. I wonder what they'll do with it. Will they sit on it? I mean, they'll obviously have advisors, won't they? You would think. Because, I don't know, some people... I remember listening to Michael Saylor saying he'll never sell it. So he just keeps acquiring more and acquiring more. Now, you would think if, you took a rough guess that the top of the bull market may be 150,000, when we get down to the bottom of the bear market, maybe 30,000, you would think it makes sense to sell them. And then buy them back at a lower price. Hence, you buy it back, 1/5 of the price, you get 5 times as much. But he said he just wants to keep accumulating. He'll never sell them. Obviously, there are people that saying Bitcoin will get to $1 million at some point in the future. So, you can kind of understand. But I think what he will continue to do is to consistently buy them dollar cost average. Obviously, you average the price down. So he's averaged the price up. He'll average the price down. So that's the only way, really, that it makes sense buying Bitcoin. Because you don't want to be buying at the top because it's only going down. You'll have to wait again. If you buy it at the bottom, you never know where the bottom's going to be. Where's the top going to be? So I think if it's something you're going to continue to buy and accumulate, you've just got to keep buying it at set intervals. But I think if I was a young lad again, young 18-year-old lad again, I'd start allocating a certain amount of money every month for the rest of your days. Because your pension that you're going to get in this country is going to be nowhere near the amount of pension you're going to get if you put 40 years of $100 or £100 a month into Bitcoin. See, people are thinking, oh, I wouldn't buy Bitcoin now, $93,000. Sounds like a lot of money, but in 7 or 8 years, it may be 5 or 6 or 7 times that. So sometimes some things seem a lot. I was looking, I was watching a guy talking about, oh, I wouldn't buy Bitcoin at $75. It's too high. Bitcoin, Solana. Now look at Solana, it's about $220. So I think there's, you could say there's never an easy time to buy it, but dollar cost average seems to be the right thing. So for a young lad now, or if you had a little bit of money and you wanted to put $1,000 or £1,000 or something into something for your child for the future, I'd be inclined to stick it into Bitcoin. Put it onto a cold wallet and just store it somewhere and keep it for 10 years. They'll have a nice little chunk of money then. So it does look to me like today really is just a range. We've got a leg and a leg, a leg and a leg. So yeah, that's starting to look a bit better now, whether it's continuing on. My nephew bought it when it came out. Did he really? I bet he did. He sold it at $200. Trouble is, if you bought it for a few dollars, $200 is a huge amount of profit, isn't it? I mean, if we knew it was going to go so high, everyone would hold on to it. But that's the trouble. You don't always know, do you? I did read about that guy who bought the most expensive NFT. I think he paid $60 million for that NFT. He put £5,000, I think, into Bitcoin, and he just kept it and kept it. So some people just had that foresight that this is maybe the way things are going to go. But, the longer you keep it, especially earlier on, it's a bit of a gamble. $14. Oh, it's kind of hard to think about that. You really want to forget about it, don't you? But wow, $14. $14 is peanuts, isn't it? It's the price of 2 or 3 pints of beer, and it's $93,000 now each. It makes you sick when you think about it, doesn't it? It makes you sick. I bet there was a lot of people that bought Bitcoin when it first came out as a bit of a novelty. They thought they were kind of keeping up with, and completely forgot all about it and no idea where it is. That period when NFTs, yeah, they've more or less died out. You rarely hear anything about them now. I can't see the fascination with them, to be honest with you. It's like having a digital collectible, really, isn't it? I mean, a baseball card, you've got something tangible. Baseball cards in the US are, massively collectible, but a piece of a digital art doesn't, it doesn't seem to make much sense. Maybe if you print it out and put it in the Smithsonian and call it the first thing ever printed, maybe it'll hold some value, but I don't know. I just, they didn't interest me in the slightest. It just kind of didn't make much sense to me. But yeah, a few years ago, everyone was talking about NFTs, weren't they? But you rarely hear it. I can't remember the last. In fact, you're probably the first. You saying it is probably the first I've read about it for 3 years. I don't think the new generation is keeping up with base. No, I suppose so. But, I suppose they get handed down in generations, I suppose, don't they? But we kind of don't have collectibles like you guys do in the US. I suppose we don't really. I suppose comics as far as collectibles in the UK, more that type of thing. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what the future holds for things like Bitcoin. Everything will go digital at some point. I mean, it's mostly digital now, is it? I can't remember the last time. The only time I ever get a bit of cash is if we have a Chinese once in a blue moon. The Chinese restaurant or takeaway doesn't take card. Failing that, I just either pay for on my Apple Watch or on my phone if I haven't got it on my wrist. So I don't take cash out at all anymore. Very rarely. Demand is going to go for these. That's why crypto is the most sought. It is, yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I was watching Michael Saylor talking maybe 3 or 4 months ago saying his opinion, buy Bitcoin. Just keep buying it and buying it and buying it and buying it. And it kind of doesn't seem right buying it now, does it? But if you consistently buy it as it goes up and you consistently buy it as it goes down, you average the price out. Obviously, if you're buying it and it's going up and you're selling it when it's coming down. But vintage corgi toys, yeah, I suppose so. Vintage trains, never really interested me, to be honest with you. But I know, I'm pretty sure you US guys are, a lot more into collectibles. Having said that, we have a kind of a big history in the UK. But I don't know. When I was young, stamps used to be popular. Everyone was buying stamps. I remember having books of stamps at the time, but they're kind of collectible. I think when we went into the sort of digital age, a lot of that was forgotten about, when computers came out and more video games, and then it's all online stuff now, isn't it? Kids don't collect stamps anymore. Kids don't collect, football cards over here anymore. They spend half their life, stuck in front of a phone or a PC or, a Nintendo or PlayStation or something. It's all online stuff now with your friends and games, isn't it? Those sort of tangible things that we used to collect are just gone, really. They just lost their popularity. It's like things like church. I know a lot of you in the US are a lot more religious than we are over here. It's I used to go to church as a kid. My stepdad was in the army. We went to church on a Sunday, went to the sergeant's mess on a Sunday afternoon. We'd have a big slap-up Sunday dinner. The guys would have a few beers. The kids would have some Cokes. And that would be every single weekend. But I don't know anybody who's religious now, anybody who goes to church. I haven't been to church unless it was a funeral or what's it. It's kind of lost its well, I don't know, it's kind of unfashionable, for want of a better word. Kids just not interested anymore. And that concerns me, that things like churches and that, which have been around for hundreds of years, are eventually going to lose certain funding. Obviously, if something isn't popular, the less people go to it, sooner or later it'll start to sort of fade away, which is a shame, because we all kind of need a church at some point, whether it's a wedding or whether it's a funeral, or if you're religious and you need that bit of support or something. But it does seem in the UK to be getting way less kind of fashionable, for want of a better word. But, life changes, doesn't it? Things change. You never quite know what's around the corner or how life changes. I mean, you go back another 100 or 200 years, religion was way bigger, but people have kind of left it behind to a degree. They're that busy with their lives and, and technology and mobile phones, they just don't seem to have time for anything. Every time we go out, and we do it ourselves, I know, but you'll go out to a restaurant, you'll see a family of 4, and none of them will be talking. Everyone will have their head in their phone. Guys watching the football, wives chatting with friends on Facebook, kids are playing games. Things have changed, haven't they? But, that's the way the world works, isn't it? It just, things change. This is quite a slow-moving market today, actually. I'm guessing we look for a long here or maybe a short up here. Either way, I wish the thing would hurry up and move. In fact, the next time Bitcoin does come down during a bull market, I might start to buy some again. I've had little bits, but never held on to them long enough. In fact, me and my wife put £10,000 into an account for my daughter for when she's 18, just to give her a little something. And that was a few months ago. I was very tempted to put it into Bitcoin for her. I kind of wish I had it now. There you go. Worse when this is this slow. What time is it? So New York time. What time's lunchtime in New York? When do traders go for lunch? Around about midday-ish? Which is kind of early considering you don't start trading until 9:30. Okay, leg and a leg. I just don't feel comfortable buying here with all this space here. I'd like to get back to here. Have a look. Mind you, there is some support there. We've kind of bounced up there, so, and you can see it there, so perhaps we're going to have a couple of bounces there. I'd feel much comfortable trading a higher low off this bottom. Okay, kind of two legs, but I don't like this. Something's just telling me to stay out of this. It may work. There is a couple of bounces on there, but I'd rather have another leg down to here and then take something going along. Not only that, this is in this downtrend, so it's a no-no. And rightly so. You're going to get stopped out there, I'm guessing. So, you may argue that there's a small break there. But I'd only take a higher low here anyway above that EMA, just for safety. So, this other chart, that would be a second entry long, maybe trapping the lower high. Does this channel fit any different? Let's have a look. So, I'm generally avoiding this one, although it is working off there. It's probably a small risk, 7 ticks. I'd rather wait for the higher low, just to be sure. I rarely take that first one. We've got no setup on this one anyway, so I tend to avoid that first one, especially if the market's a bit fidgety today, which it is a little bit. I want us to put a push above that EMA really and give us some indicator we're going higher up to these tops, because this has gone a little bit flat. Yeah, so if you'd have taken that trade there, and it is a second entry long, I'll be a bit worried now. It may not make a difference. In fact, if it triggered that, it could push up for a higher low. But I will be concerned, yeah, rightly so. See, it is a second entry long, but it's also a channel. So going long in a small downtrend is risky. Remember that setup of those setup I take, or that strategy. Whenever we come down, we get a bull bar, just short there, 8-tick risk, 8-tick profit. It worked perfectly. That one short, 8-tick risk worked perfectly. Those types of width of channels work really well. Just trying to think where we had another one. Maybe that one. Come down, bullish bar, short it, 8-tick risk, 8-tick profit, work beautifully. They're really. I'm still going to start to focus a lot on these as well. Same with that one there. Double width channel, bearish bar, just go long, 8-tick risk, 8-tick profit, work beautifully. Even down here, that one there worked. Another bullish bar, that one there worked. Another bullish bar, that one there worked. You ever took Finviz? Finviz. I've heard of that, but not for a couple of years. Finviz, let me think. Finviz. Remind me what it is. Finviz. Or have a look at Finviz. Is it something like a news thing or something, is it? That reminds me of the penny stock days. Finviz. I have heard of Finviz. I can't remember what it is. Finviz. You're going to have to tell me, although it's going to bug me now. It's kind of on the tip of my tongue. Finviz. Come on, Nick, spit it out, mate. Stocks screener. Finviz. Okay. I've come across it before in the past, but it's been a while. I wonder where we're getting this. What's it now? Let's see if we get a higher low here. Yeah, doesn't it screen for certain moves or something like that? See, I've never traded stocks at all. But yeah, I've heard of Finviz. Who was it who mentioned it? It's been a while. Stock screener. Yeah, I remember when I first got into trading, I watched someone and he said I use this for something or other. Yeah, I it definitely rings a bell. You can look at the heat map. I got you, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely come across it. But that was when I was learning to trade and I was kind of fishing around quite a bit. You know, a lot of guys, they use these screeners, don't they, to identify imbalances or whatever it is. Have we got anything on this? So, let's move that one out of the way. I lost where I was then. So I think now this is a spiking channel, personally. I had a feeling it might be. Let's maybe put it there. That fits much better. I had an idea it was a spike in a channel to a degree, but now that's fitting better. It's a shame, really. In fact, you know what? We did have a higher low on that other chart. Channel, small break, new low, higher low. It did work. I was waiting for a higher low up here above that. So yeah, it's a small spike and channel. That visually it looks like it works. Yeah, I mean on that chart there, there's a long failure there which probably traps some shorts, but I just didn't want to take anything there. I'd rather wait for a push above that EMA and a little pullback, and then I'd have taken that out, aiming towards those highs. There was a couple of legs back there, which worked. Obviously, we had a downtrend here, and it just turned straight up. Small downtrend there, which turned straight up. But yeah, we got a little channel there with a break and a new low. It's just one of these days, isn't it? It's not quite going up as steep as I'd like it. And there's a lot. There's push up sideways, push up sideways, push up sideways, push up sideways. See, Taylor's got this as a small break. Yeah, see that there on Taylor's, both that one there is a bullish pin bar. So it's not touching. He's got it from the bottom of a bullish pin bar there, and he's got that as a full channel. So he's got that as a small break. So yeah, I don't know why I'm pointing to that. You can't see this chart. Yeah, this is more of a spiking channel for me. Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? So I had a couple of trades pre-market on two of my accounts. See, the three accounts, I can only trade. It'll only allow me one trade a day on those. Well, one loss a day. So I keep them locked to stop me doing that. And the other two, I got kind of floated accounts. So I can move over and continue to trade. So I like to lock off some. It stops me doing anything silly on them. So bounce, bounce, bounce. Are we going to get a pullback here? Maybe. Yeah. See, Ben, you've got that as well. It kind of looks like a spiking channel, but you've come off that higher low, haven't you? If I come off that higher low, that doesn't look too bad, actually. Could even take the top of that one off. I don't suppose it really matters, does it? But when you look at it like that, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't work quite like that on my other chart, though. Yeah, on my other chart, it's showing a clear break. On here, it's not. Yeah, see, I've done the same there. I've come from here, touching here, small break there on my other chart. It hasn't. My second chart had a great high missed it. Yeah, it is good to have two charts for definite. You just get better. I mean, I've got no setup there. There is a higher low there. Not to the PH rocket. Yeah, there is a higher low there. Channel with a small break and a new low. So that channel is played out. There is a higher low there. I'm just a bit concerned about this. Depending on how you look at this, if you kept that there, we may be coming away from the top. And when that does, a lot of times we do get a break. So we don't know whether we're going to get channel there and a couple of legs up and another leg down. So it just didn't feel comfortable taking that. But that's fine. So I've had something today. I'm up $700 on some of my accounts today. So that's not terrible. Another trade to get me over that 2,000 mark. That would be nice if it happens. I don't mind. 2 or 3 trades a week will get me plenty of money. No, not on yours. See, a lot of traders will just put buy orders down here, won't they? And just chances are if it comes down here and it's slowing, a lot of them will just buy there, whereas we wait for a signal bar. Unfortunately, you don't always get one. But that's why we can sort of boast win rates of 85 to 95%. If you wait for that signal bar, it just means the chance of that working. So there was a triple test there. I had my chart a bit different there, but that I think was a nice setup, 2 legs back, and it worked. That second pullback from the bottom is slight overshoot on mine. Yeah, it is on my other. It is on my other chart. It fits there, fits there, fits there. Yeah. So these charts make a slight bit of difference. For instance, that bar there, if that bar was a full bearish bar, I could bring that down to there and touch the main body of it, which means that wouldn't be. But on my other chart, it is a full bar. It's slightly different, which means that's not a break. If it was a half bar like that on the other chart, it would fit there, and that'd be an overshoot. So it's good to have 2 charts there. It just gives you a second perspective. But pretty much, it's as well as does it fit, does it visually look right? And the bulk of this is right around that midline. The bulk of that congestion is right across the middle line. Bulk of that congestion right across the middle line. Same there. And it's starting here as well. Yeah, see, Thomas Wade's done that now. He's marked that now as a small spike in a channel, and he's closed off that bit. I don't think it's important, that bit anyway, but look how nice it's fitting now. And it visually looks good. So if I take my other chart and move that to a spike and channel the same, bring that down, yeah, that fits perfectly in my opinion. As a small spike and channel, I'm not concerned about that. Nice touch, nice touch, nice touch. Perfect, 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 perfect. That was a little bit of an overkeen, and then we had kind of 2 legs back, and that's when it started to go. So I like that one. So very much, I'd say, range day today so far. Yeah, I'm assuming that chart you put up there is the 10,000. Oh, it is 10,000. Yeah, yeah. Ben has just put that 10,000 tick chart. Fits perfect. So it is nice to have that 10,000 tick chart. Sometimes it can give you something you don't see on the 2,000. So a couple of legs down. Be nice here. There is a little bit of support there, but I'm guessing this is going to probably entice some more buyers. I wouldn't get in here. It'd have to be down here somewhere. It's not great local setups. No, not really. I don't think that was terrible. But to be honest with you, Mack'll mark that 2 legs back. But at the time, just a little bit of uncertainty. It didn't fit. Now we've had this touch. Now we've pushed up to the top. This channel looks much better. But at the time, before you add all that, you just don't know. We're hitting support here, so you don't know whether this is going to come down and start to go sideways in a range. So that made that little bit more unclear. But now you can see it. Spot on trade there. No issues there. Higher low off the bottom. It worked. Now we know it worked. Maybe a small risk there. It's an inside bar, but there you go. Channel break, new low. Little inside bar off the key entry point. He may mark that. But in real time, not so simple. A few setups I can see after the fact, yeah. But when they're happening, it was for absolutely, absolutely. You have to rely on your skill and judgment. And when it is live as it's happening, and you haven't got a lot of time to think about it, and you've got to make quick decisions, it's easy with hindsight. You can spot trades a mile away then because you know they work. Channel break, new low, that worked. 2 legs back, that worked. You know, it's easy. after the fact. Same there. You could say triple test, work for a small scalp. Mac will probably mark it. 2 legs back. Not a bearish bar in here, but I actually liked that. And it worked. So after the fact, it's easy. Same something like that. 2 legs up and worked. So I like the fact that this is coming down, going sideways a bit, going down. It's not just straight down. So we need to get down here. It'd be nice. So leg and a leg. If we can get something down here, that'd be nice. Let's enlarge my other chart. Channel break, leg and a leg would be nice. So leg and a leg, come on. Gotta come down here. So just looking at my other chart up here, we are finding some support right along there. So we've got a leg down, push up, break new high, so we could get a couple of legs down. I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to this area. I'm certainly not taking anything right up here. I want to give it a chance to at least have a couple of legs. So there is a long failure there which triggered and looks like it's about to get stopped out. I'd like to see that second leg down there as well. And I mean, it could go up. It's kind of a bit of a bull flag, isn't it? Leg, sideways leg. But there is support along here, so... Daniel has drawn it with a break already. Yeah, I've kind of got this one here. Fits okay. My second chart, it's a bit different here, and I've got it as a break. So that's what I mean. It's kind of good to have two. But visually, look at the way it's moving. It's moving at that angle. It's moving at that angle, which is slightly different. Look at the centre of that. So I got mixed feelings about that. It's much more that which would mean bringing this down and taking it up. Now look how nice that's in line with the midline. So it depends how you've got it. I've got two schools of thought there, so I'm aware of them both. But that visually looks like it's going up at the same angle that the channel is. So it's good to be aware of both, actually. Let me have a look. See, Thomas Wade's not got it as a break there. Let's have a look. He's got it as a break. The 10,000 tick chart isn't showing a break. That was a photo 10 minutes ago. Still the same. Ben, you've not got it as a break, so it depends what your chart looks like. Taylor's got it as a small break, so it depends really. I kind of I'm looking at both really. I'm aware, but I think if we get two really nice legs down and come down to here and it looks nice, it's more about how it looks. At the moment, for me, the bias is up, so the bias is long. Now, yeah, we are finding a bit of support. It just might mean buyers back out a bit, and if it drops back, it may encourage buyers because we're getting a bit of a range there. And as we know, most breakouts of a range fail. So if we have one leg back and a second leg back, and we can get a nice bullish bar down here, I would fade that back into the range. So I'm aware of both. I'm aware there may be a break, in which case we push up and make a new high, and then technically that channel's played out, and it could either do one or two things: reverse, correct, or continue on up. So, but yeah, so I got mixed feelings. So it has continued on up. Let's see if it fails. But we're getting close to the overnight highs there. or the top of the range, whichever you want to call it. To be honest with you, the fail breakouts usually end breakout and then go back in the direction of the trend which is up. I wouldn't necessarily be thinking about one here. Not that it won't work, but to be honest with you, what you want is a push up in an uptrend, 2 pulls back, that second one or first one, a breakout of a little range that fails and fades back in. So we're close to the overnight highs. We're a couple of points away, I think. Okay. New high there. Like so, if that is a break, we've had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high. So for you guys who think that's a break and made a new high, you may be looking to short there. I wouldn't personally. Or if you're going to maybe make a lower high, you got 6 points, did you? Good on you, mate. See, I haven't got this as a break at the moment, so I would hold fire here. Yeah, it often does that one. Gives you that first bearish bar, triggers and stops you out. So, leg down, leg and leg up. But my day, isn't it? Leg and leg. So, I'm guessing if you looked at Bookmap, there'll be some liquidity up here, won't there? Some shorts, I'm guessing, somewhere. Where is it? I don't generally look at it much, but now and again, I like to have a quick glance just to see what's where.
Sell iceberg NQ. Buy stop ES. Buy stop NQ.
So
Sell
we're here now,
iceberg
aren't we?
NQ.
Yeah, just
Sell
above there,
iceberg
aren't there?
NQ.
Yeah, so Penguin took that there. I did mark it. Well, I marked it in the other chart. So leg down, 2 attempts to push up. He'd take it around there, out before the lows. So I'm guessing he went in there and got out there. In fact, let me have a look on his chart. Where did he get in? Actually, he got out a lot lower. He put that right at the bottom of that red bar there. So he got out here. So channel 2 legs up. He's looking then for that second leg down, which is a leg and a leg. So you got 24 ticks there. Nice. So we're right at the top here. I'm guessing there is orders up here. There was on Bookmap, wasn't it? Around about 34 to 35. Right to the top of the channel. Right to the tick. Right up to 33.50. Right to the nearest tick. Twice there, fitting perfectly. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It's amazing how crap it looked when price was here and how good it looks now. As these channels develop, they kind of fall into place, and that has beautifully leg and a leg. Yeah, amazes me how accurate these things are. This price action, look how nice that's fitting. Perfect touch there, then down. So we've broken the overnight highs. We've broken the overnight lows. Where's this thing going up? It just kind of looks like a leg up, a couple of legs back and another leg up. Whether it continues up anymore, there's this area up here. Or it could come down. So we've had that strong move up, haven't we? Really strong move up. And then we've kind of had a leg and a leg. And then we've gone up, down, up. Just sort of sideways. So whether this goes up or not, who knows? Yes, Guy just put a message on here, and I absolutely agree with him. Someone asked how many trades do they get in a week, and he's just put, all I'm going for is A+ trades. I'm really only getting 3 to 4 trades a week, sometimes 2. That's exactly what I get. If you take A+ trades, you win 8.5, 9 of them out of 10. As I say, I go for 3 points. If you get an average of 2 winning trades a week, let's say you take 4 trades, you lose 1. You're up 2, which is about $600. And that's with a loss. That's 2,500, 2,600. Say you take a second loss. And you times that by 10 or 20 PA accounts, you could earn a stack of money. A stack of money, you're talking $20,000 to $40,000 a month. Even if you're in a quarter of that, the potential's there. There's plenty of money to be earned. You don't need a lot of setups. You really don't. And the good thing about the A+ setups is they work for way more than 3 points. So channel with a break. Let's see where this goes. See whether it continues up. As far as I'm concerned, although the trouble is, ultimately, generally the range is more important than the channel. So if we're still in a channel, when we're at the top of a range, it can just turn down. And we see it all the time. I mean, for instance, this channel down, you'd hit a level here and just turn straight away. Whereas we know, what Mac teaches, when you break out of a channel, you usually make a new extreme, which in the case of a downtrend, now whether you consider that as an overshoot, maybe, but if you look, it just turns down, and then completely changes. So sometimes when we hit the bottom of these channels or the top of these channels, the things just turn. Especially, absolutely, yes. I've got 5 accounts at the moment. If you're making $2,000 on average per month, that's $10,000 a month. You can have up to 20 accounts, and that's just with Apex. You can have multiple accounts with others. Wilson's got about another 10 of 12 accounts with other prop firms as well now. So once you get it and you can do it, and your patience and sit and wait for those really A+ trades and nothing less. You don't need a lot of trades. Much better to take less trades and less losses. Because if you take a loss, I mean, you've got to take one trade just to get back to where you were. So I think if you can rule it out and you can get a high win percentage, you easily can. Well, I say easily. It obviously takes time, but when you get it and you can do what it takes, and you can comfortably take those good setups, it really works well. But there's not been a lot of setups around today. I haven't seen Thomas Wade take one, I don't think. See, the trouble is, you hear so many people going, I took that. I've seen this one guy on here, took that for 6 points, took that for so-and-so. And it kind of sort of can put pressure on you. Why aren't I taking that? Why aren't I seeing that? But when you think logically how many setups you see in a day, it isn't many. I haven't seen Thomas Wade take a trade yet today. And I think he averages 1 or 2 a day. But less is more really anyway, especially when it comes down to this style of trading. The price action. And price action's never wrong. It works perfectly. When you read it properly, it's so damn accurate. I mean, look, Jan for a start, last month had a 96% win rate. That's brilliant. 96%. I bet there isn't many traders that win 96% of the time. Granted, he's scalping a point. But even so, that's the equivalent of losing 1 trade in 20. Do I believe him? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if your trade is scalping a point, and think what that does for your psychology. A win rate like that. Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of being able to trade multiple accounts. I mean, if I've got 10 accounts, I'm trading $25,000 worth of liquidity, and all that's cost me is $850 for the 10 accounts. So for a very small amount, if you had 25,000 your own money, now that's a lot of risk. But I can have 25,000 for $850, so I can control that much and make that much money. My best month was September. I had 92 win rate, and a huge part of it came from scaling down. Yeah. There's so many different ways of trading, isn't there? Yeah, I think as you kind of move through your trading journey, you can't sit here and not evolve, can you? You see this, you change things, you add to it, and especially as your account, absolutely. And I mentioned it a couple of times now, that emotional dial that you have turned way up. We all remember getting our first PA account and our first evaluation, you know, and your knees are knocking and, you know, you got hot, cold sweats and stuff. You know, we all mention those. And, you know, you get impulsive and you jump in and you lose and the emotions get you, but you do it day in, day out. You know, I mentioned it before. When I was a bit younger, I went for a stage of doing a little bit of skydiving. My stepdad was in a British parachute team in the military, and I used to go around there as a youngster, and they used to do displays, and I used to pull the smoke thing and change the cross to a T to give them wind direction and all that sort of stuff. And I did a little bit in my young teens. And first time you jump out of a plane, you kind of don't know what it happens all that quick. You're thinking of every excuse to get out of it. You know, your arse is winking. It's a nervous thing. But, you know, I spoke to a couple of guys on his team that have done 2,000 and 3,000 jumps, and it's like getting out of bed for them. It's you know, it's normal. And when you're doing these new things for the first time that have a lot of emotions, they have an effect on you. You know, I've talked about the boxer. First time I ever did any boxing was at 13. My stepdad, I got beaten up at school. My stepdad said, I'm signing you up to boxing classes. And I remember my mum getting me a string vest. They were big in the 80s. A white string vest and a pair of blue shorts. And I got her to pay about £13 for a pair of boxing boots. And we raided my mum's medical cabinet with getting bandages and strapping herself up. And I remember the first time I ever got into a ring after about 3 months, I shit myself. You swing your arms, you're going like crazy, everything's a big blur, you get dragged apart and you can't remember what the hell happened. But then you got guys who've been doing it a couple of years who can go into a ring and control themselves. You know, if as a youngster you get hit and you go crazy, you lose it. But you see professional boxers now, they can go in there for 3 minutes, 15 rounds or 12 rounds or whatever, and be perfectly calm and hold the punches and controlled. They control their emotions. Why? Because they've exposed them to it enough times for it to not be so scary. And that's what happens with trading. You know, you start risking money and that, it's scary. You start making mistakes and you panic. I can't, you know, I was always okay with one loss. As soon as I lost the second loss, I'd panic. And if I was in the stream at the time, I'd end the stream, jump straight back in with a revenge trade, panic, and try to get it back. 9 times out of 10, you lose the account. And I did that for so long, even recently, up to maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, because you panic. But after a while, when you've been doing it day in, day out, it becomes like a kind of normal, mundane, boring job. It's not so scary. You kind of just get on with it. But it does take time. This is almost gone to sleep. This is, what time is it? So it's 12:30. It just froze up. Oh no, it's moving. But it does take time. But if you just stick at it and keep coming back and keep practicing and getting better, you can't trade these markets every day and follow price action before you start to know how it works. But yeah, emotions. You have that emotional dial. The more experience you get, that dial gets turned down and down until you can think and not panic. So many times I got into trade with a buy and sell button. The trouble is, it's impulsive. And a lot of the time that comes with a bad outcome. Whereas if you give yourself that extra sec, you don't have to jump in quickly. You do have a second or two to think about it, and you can always get in on a limit order. If you're not sure, you better just right-click, open your trade, and then that gives you an extra. That gives you an extra second or so to think. I don't know how many trades I got in. I thought, oh, it's a lovely trading, and I'd just buy it. But by the time I'd buy it, it had already gone up a point or two, and I ended up having a massive risk. So, channel down, 1 attempt tire, 2nd attempt tire, possibly failure. Now, do you want to short this? I wouldn't normally take a short in an uptrend, but we may have broken the highs, and this is likely a range, so it could come down. But I'm staying out of this at the moment because it could trigger me and push off. And as we know, Max says, don't count a trend trade, and that trade fits as nice as it can. So taking a short there, I don't think is the best option. I'm not saying it's not going to work. And if you scalp a point, you may have a go, but I'm sitting tight here. I avoid them. I've taken them once or twice in the past, but most times they haven't gone well. Because if there is anywhere shorts here, sometimes this will trigger, push up, take out that stop and that stop. Yeah, someone said, nice fail second entry long, but overall bias is up. So it's counter trend trading. You're best off just plainly avoid them because they will go against you. Nothing means, you know, this could come rocketing down, but not only that, it's a little bit sideways. Now, if we had a downtrend, I'd probably have a go at that. But as the trend's up, there's probably going to be some shorts stuck in there. It depends. There's, you know, there was obviously some shorts up here. Perhaps they're going to try and force this price down, especially as we're kind of overall ranging. Or are we? You know, is this thing going to continue on up? So if you took that short there, your knees are going to be knocking now. You're going to need underwear. There you go. So it just goes to show channel down. Really nice second entry short. 2 attempts to push higher. Great setup. Context is all wrong. And I wouldn't take that either because we're at the top again now and it's 14 ticks, tick above, tick below. There's no space really. I wouldn't want to go long there because channel down, 2 pushes up and a leg down. Not before it's trapped that short and taken that out. So just because it's a second entry short with a nice setup, the context is up. And it'll do that over and over again until you learn. Okay, I think I'm done for the day, folks. I've done 3 hours now. It's not been the easiest of days. I have had a trade on a couple of my other accounts pre-market, but nothing today. There's not a huge amount. That one at Macklemark, I don't know. I can't see many yet. You know, when we had that channel yesterday, he didn't mark many in the channel. Sometimes it's just the way it is. But there you go. So, what day are we today? Wednesday. So, Thursday, tomorrow. We're nearly at the end of another week already. So, I will love you and leave you. I appreciate all the comments. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do it all over again. So, have a great evening. Stay safe. And then we'll be back here again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.